Alright, so I have another game here that I want to show you guys today. My opponent opens with the amazing e4, and I do e5. He does knight, I do knight. He gets his knight out, I get my knight out. Now he attacks my knight with his bishop, and I respond by simply just developing my bishop. I don't really care what he does with the knight because he takes, and I just take back, and now I have a nice open queen, which is of course quite nice. Double stacked pawns though, but it's okay. Now, he pushes his d pawn down to attack my pawn and my bishop at the exact same time. So I take back, and then now, instead of him taking my pawn, he moves knight to h4, attacking my bishop. Now I respond with queen to d6. This is an interesting move because I protect the bishop while still, in a way, developing my queen, which is of course quite nice. He pushes his pawn down, attacking the d pawn, and I castle. He takes the pawn. Now, this might have been a mistake because he took the pawn. Now he has two pawns in the center and he's attacking my bishop, which is not that good. So I fend off his pawn by checking the king with my bishop. So he then replies with blocking my check with his bishop, and I simply just take his bishop. Simple as. He takes back a queen, and the game goes on. Now I take his pawn with my knight because it was hanging, and it attacks the queen at the same time, which is very nice. He moves his queen to safety, attacking my knight right there. I get my bishop out on f5, protecting the knight, and he castles. Now I push my pawn up because I wanted to attack the knight. Might have not been the best move, but I just want to simply attack the knight. He moves back, and his knight is now on my knight, which is not that good because now he has two attackers on my knight, whilst I only have one defender on my knight. So I get another defender on my knight using my rook. Now he does a questionable move here. I think this might have been a mistake because I don't really know what the plan was, because he can't really do anything with that knight that's too effective. He can't move here, 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 he can't, yeah, it's just not good. I don't know why he did that. I take his knight, just simply offering a trade. He takes a queen, then I push my pawn. Now, he responds by attacking my bishop, which of course, I don't think that was a good move because that was one of his king pawns protecting his king. So I just push my other pawn on b5 to attack his queen. Because of course a queen is way better than a bishop, let's be real. Obviously, what am I saying? Now he moves his queen to safety, having a defender on his knight at the same time, which is of course smart by him. Now I need to be careful here because his pawn is attacking my bishop. But I simply just take the pawn because if he takes here, I take here, and then his knight is hanging as well, which of course is not too good. So I take the pawn. If I took with queen, he could have offered a queen trade, but then that would have led to his knight, I guess, hanging, but like having nothing really to do, and it's just a lost position for him. So I just decided to take the pawn because I like to play with queen. It's quite nice. Now he moves his queen again. Still don't know what the whole point of this was. Of course, it was to remove the attacker on the remove my pawn attacking his queen. But I don't know if this was the best square because his pawn is blocking his queen. But of course, I simply just took his knight because queen cannot take, because then I take and then he takes, and I'm an entire queen, which is just really, really good. So I take the knight. Then he takes my bishop. Equal trade. But then, okay, never mind. It's not equal trade. I took his pawn. But of course, I didn't know this right here. It does offer a queen trade, but because I'm in a better position and I have what, +3 material, I really did not think he'll go for this, which he didn't. And I need to be careful of backhand checkmate, by the way. It's just in case. I have to be very careful. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. So then I just checked his king, moving his king into the corner, which is of course pretty nice. Now I move my queen up. I think I was trying to put my rook behind my queen and then checkmate him here on g2. He responds by attacking my queen, and then I respond by checking his king, moving my queen to safety. Now he blocks by attacking my queen at the same time, and that pawn is protected by not only a rook but a queen. I move all the way back to c6 to defend this pawn, and the thing is, he is of course just targeting a pawn, which I think he takes. Yep, he takes. So I lost a pawn, that was my bad on my part. But then I start to push this d pawn because I might be able to promote it later on, maybe. But he moves his rook to attack the pawn, and then I simply, after 7 seconds of thinking, I let him take that pawn because I could just offer a fair trade here. And let's say he took this pawn, I would have took with check, he would have moved it, I would have checked here, he would have moved it, and then I would have, and then I would have taken the rook, and it's just no bueno for him. Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Just not good, right? So he responds with moving his king down. Maybe a misclick. I have no idea why he did that. I move my rook over here to, I keep forgetting what file, that's called the E file, to claim a nice dominant file. Why not? But then now he offers a rook trade, which maybe he was trying to back rank check, because maybe something like this could have happened, that, and then that. But, I mean, I clearly saw that, and I didn't take the rook. Oh, sorry. Oh, crap, I did take the rook. Okay. I had to have I think I just moved my pawn up, really. I think I moved my H pawn up. Let's see. Could that really defend it? I take rook, he takes rook. Yeah, that's really it. I just moved my H pawn up to prevent the back rank checkmate. So then he moves his rook back, protecting his F pawn. But then I check him here with my queen on c2, making him move his king down to g3. Now I'm gonna slowly just remove his king from the upper area, if you want to call it that, of the chessboard, and just hopefully reach a checkmate. So that's what I do. I check him with my rook, forcing him downwards. Then I push my pawn, which is very dangerous for white, because if I get this pawn promoted to another queen, it is just confirmed to checkmate. So he does a very random check on my king. I just move up. Now he moves his king here, so he can actually defend my. Sorry, he moves his queen to d1, d8. Sorry, so he could attack my pawn. But I simply just check him on f5, which again making him move. But this might have been not the best check for me, because now he moves his king up to e3, attacking my pawn with two attackers, which was it was probably a blunder of a pawn, I have to say. But I tried to prevent the blunder by protecting the pawn with my rook. Now he gets his rook on it, which of course don't think that's the best move. Let's see. Let's see, I could do queen to a5. He takes. Oh no, he takes. I take. No, but then he takes. Yeah. So I could not have done that trade. I could not have traded there. So I respond. I respond with taking the hanging pawn, and then he takes the pawn. So it's an equal trade. Now I put my rook in front of my queen. He checks my king over here on h7. I move down, and then he moves. So he moves to e4, protecting his pawn over here. But then I just push my pawn. I'm now trying to plan to possibly attack the queen in my f pawn here, or just to promote my queens by pushing them, to be honest. He checks my king. I move up to g7. He checks my king again. It is getting a bit dangerous at this point, I have to admit. But I move my king up back to g6. He checks again. I move, and now my king is in safety. To be honest, it's safe. So he pushes his pawn down, just probably, hopefully, trying to promote it to something. and I take his pawn, check. Oh, sorry. I check. Oh, God, what's happening? There we go. I take his pawn, check. He goes down. And now here is where it gets spicy. I blunder. I blundered my rook on e3. Granted, if he did take the rook, I would have to move somewhere like uh, somewhere here. Then maybe if he moved here, some here, here, and it would have been a sequence of events. But of course, he's up a rook, and I can still checkmate because I do have a queen, but he has a higher chance of checkmating. But for some reason, he did not take the rook, and he moved to f6. I think he tried to. I think he got a bit greedy, and he wanted to try and just checkmate me here, which was no. That would not have worked, and I'll show you right now why it would not have worked. I check my rook. I check with my rook on d3 to the king. He moves down. Queen checks to e3. His king moves down. Then queen check mates to b6. And that is quite a nice checkmate, I have to say. His king gets checkmated because queen is blocking these squares and king is simply blocking this square, and my pawn is physically blocking the c7 square, which of course is a good checkmate. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that game, and see you next video.